Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome to our next snippet. This is snippet 57. So we're using a piece of 4 inches by 6 inches Pink Frog smooth card, and what I've done is I've masked the top off with 3 pieces of low tack tape and masked the bottom off. So I've sort of got this area open. It's up to you how much you have open, but I've just got that strip that's open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to take Salvaged Patina Distress Oxide ink. Just ink that brayer up, and I'm just going to apply the ink with a flicking motion across the card. Now these are snippets of ideas that you can take as far as you wish, or you can just leave it exactly the same as me. It's entirely up to you, but it's a snippet of an idea. So that's Salvage Patina. We're then going to take Cracked Pistachio, and again ink your brayer so that you've got some of that colour on there, and flick the ink, lift and flick. So ink up your brayer again, lift and flick. So you're just giving that a light sort of flicking motion, and then lift and flick, just so that you've got your colour on there. We're then going to take a little bit of Salty Ocean. So let's take a little bit of that Salty Ocean, and we'll just brayer some of that Salty Ocean on there. You're not looking for perfection, you're just looking for some brayered ink across your card, whatever makes you happy. So we'll just clean our area just so that we haven't got that ink all over the place. And then what I'm going to do is just give that a light spritzing with water. You can wipe over the bottom of your low tack tape just so that you don't get in any mess. So just wipe off the ink that's reactive to the moisture. You can just wipe that off just so that you don't end up in a little bit of a mess. And then just take some clean kitchen roll and just give that a little bit of a blot. So then you've got a few bleached out areas. Just a nice, simple, brayered background. And the idea of the snippets is that they're a snippet of an idea. And I might have a product coming that we can use with our snippets as well. So what I'm going to do is then just add a little bit of detail. I'm not going to dry this. So what I'm going to do, don't do what I'm doing and ink over your card. It's a bit iffy. So I'm going to ink my Fern stamp, which is my Fern TE3. I just adore this stamp. So we're just going to take that fern, and it's got this double fern on there and a little fern on its own as well, which works quite nicely. Let me just wipe that bit of ink off there. And it's got a little fern on its own as well. So if I just lift this up, you can see that I've got the double fern and it's got a little fern as well. Now I can move these in any direction I wish. So let's add that little bit of a fern. Now I'm going on to the low tack tape, which is absolutely fine. So go on to that low tack tape and just give that ink time just to, you know, sort of appear on there, just to grab hold of that card. If you lift too soon, then you don't get a good image. There we go. That fern is just stunning. So what I can do now is take another A7 acrylic block and grab the smaller fern that's on the stamp set, like so. We can then ink the little fern, and we can bring that fern in just to fill in some of that gap. Obviously we'll be removing the low tack tape, so don't worry about the low tack tape. Apart from the fact it's sticking everywhere, you'll be removing that, no problem at all. So when we've got that, we may as well use the little bird that comes with it, which has got the fern on there. So let's take our little bird stamp. And what I'm trying to show you is simple ideas to get you using your stamps that you can then develop into a bigger idea, further ideas for your cards or your journal pages. So just giving that stamp a really good inking. And I've still got that low tack tape on there. And what I'm going to do then is just, I don't have to have, we do want his feet, of course. We don't have to have the whole tail on there, not that you can see, I'll just lift that. You don't have to have the whole bird on there. I will just move this up so you can see in a second. So you don't have to have your bird so that it's completely on the project. Let's remove that. You can have it so it's half on, half off the project. And then what I'm going to do on the bird stamp sets, that's the New Beginning stamp set TE4, there's each day is a treasure. So I've got that stamp set, and what I'm going to do is just stamp that with some VersaFine Clair Morning Mist. I love Morning Mist because it stays in the background. And I've got that in my shop should you need the Morning Mist. Could do with the tape not sticking to everything. And what I'm going to do is just sort of use the sentiment as like a background stamp. Just because it's a sentiment doesn't mean it can't be used in the background to give a background element. So we're just adding this text, and the grey text then appears in the background, and we'll use this text as a sentiment as well, but we'll stamp that in black so that the grey text then is pushed back into the background. So I'm just creating a background with my background stamp. So sometimes we think because something's designed a certain way that we forget to use it in different ways. So let's use this just as our background stamp, and it forces it into the background when you stamp it with the grey, which works rather nicely. And you don't have to add all the words if you don't want to the background, but stamp it so that it does appear quite random. So let's remove our low tack tape, just because then we can remove the ink that we've got on that low tack tape, just so that you don't get that everywhere, because I know that I'm prone to just getting that everywhere. So then just remove your low tack tape, which you can use over and over again. You don't just have to use it once. And then because I've stamped onto the oxide background, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a blot. Because with you having that oxide ink on there, the card is no longer porous. And then what I'm going to do is use my gel pen. She says, let's grab a little bit of card, just get that working again. So I'm just going to use my gel pen just to add little touches of that white just onto the fern. Just give that little touch, and the fern really comes to life when you just add little touches of that white. It works just beautifully. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Prismacolor pencils, Prisma 925 Crimson Lake, Prismacolor 924 Crimson Red, and then Pale Vermilion 921. And I'm just going to start with the darker, colour initially. Just add a little bit of that dark colour. Now, it's only a 15-minute snippet, so I can't spend too long colouring. Obviously, you can take as long as you wish just to colour that area. And just take your time. And then we'll just go back with the orange just to give that some lighter colour. And what you would do is you would build that colour up. So you'd go back again with the darker colour. Just build that colour up. Then go with the second colour. And you've got more time to colour your image. And just take it nice and steady. Just to add a bit of a coloured image. It's just, I would definitely add some touches of white just to the bird, just to make that stand out a bit. And then I would use the same sentiment. Drives me potty because I lose the sentiment. I am absolutely dreadful. I would then use the same sentiment, each day is a treasure, then stamp that into with black VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, because the black will then bring it in to the foreground. Take our little sentiment. Like so. I can add some black around that, but I would also add some splatters. Now, if you don't like your Posca pen, because the colour bleeds into the Posca pen, what you can do is use the bleed proof white just to add the white colour. But because I've added so little of that oxide ink, it shouldn't be too bad. So we'll just add a faux black matte just around our sentiment. And what I like about the snippets is, because it's snippets of ideas, and if you haven't got much time, it's a wonderful way just to have a snippet of an idea. So we'll then just take our adhesive. So this is snippet 57, and you can add that there, like so. You can allow that to dry a little bit. And I've started a new book for 2024. I've started Snippets 2024 in a new book because my other one was getting very thick. So we've got 55 and 56. This will be Snippet 57. And what I want you to do for 58 is just change up the imagery a little bit with the same stamp sets, but I've used the Branched Heart TE6, and I've followed all the same procedures, just adding a touch of colour with a different bird that is in the new beginning stamp set. And you can see I've just added a touch of shading under here with my Inktense pencil, which you would then add just under here. Preferably when that is dry, you would then add your Inktense pencil just under there. So let's just bring that in. I don't think, oh, there's my water brush. So let's just, we've got half a minute, just grab a little bit of water and just blend that out. Just to give it a little bit more of that shading. There you go. And you then add them to your journal. So you've now got snippet 57 and 58. Hope you've enjoyed that. Love to all. See you all soon.